Hey everyone, Tyler with Leggari Products. We're going to show you how you can save thousands of dollars on any kitchen remodel. We'll be showcasing one of our stone kits today using our epoxy pigments. We'll be using our dolphin gray, our jet black, and our Leggari Effects in silver. Let us know what colors you guys want to see next. We're going to be using two of our epoxy pigment colors and then our Leggari Effects in silver. The reason we're only doing two colors is because it makes it simple. These are measured out for a 1.5 gallon kit of resin. We're doing 3 gallons, so we're going to separate that out once it's mixed, pour our pigments in there, and then we'll add our Leggari Effects when we're doing the stone kit process, which incorporates the dirty pour technique. Another thing I want to point out is if you want to add other colors, you can simply use spray paints. You guys have seen us do that a lot in videos. You can either spray it in the containers or you can spray it in an actual cup and then dump it in, kind of like similar to our effects. So a lot of options if you want to add other colors. This just makes the mixing very, very simple per kit because again, our pigments are in 1.5 gallon increments. We do also sell those in 3 gallon increments, but typical countertops, you only need the 1.5 gallons. So check your guys' pigments before you start mixing. Make sure they're fluid. If they get really cold, they can become really stiff. And you can just simply heat them up with a blow dryer, mix them up a little bit. It's real simple to kind of warm them up and get them fluid. Okay, we got our batches pigmented now. The pigments mix really simple. They're formulated for our resin. They're special pigments, so they mix in really, really easy. You want to mix for like 30 seconds, 45 seconds at most. Just make sure you're getting the top edge. Usually the resin stays clear there. Get the top edge, blend that in really good. So we're going to set up our batches here. We're going to add some of our effects. This is our silver. I'll make sure you mix these up, shake them before you use them. I'm going to just squirt these into a couple of these and then we'll add some more as we're going. So I'm going to do all these batches the same. You've seen us do all of them different, random. I'm just going to do them all the same and then we're going to try to keep a uniform design out there. It should look really, really cool. So once we got them batched out like this, we want to get them in the kitchen, wherever you're coating, and get them dumped out right away. So when you guys are pouring out, you can obviously follow a design we've drawn on the actual counter, and we followed that pattern. You can dump it out random. You can do it just like we are. Totally up to you. Sky's the limit on that. A lot of options, but we're just going to go for more of a uniform pattern, like almost like a 45, right? And then we'll kind of recreate that over there, try to match it up best we can. So one thing I do want to point out is you can see all the Leggari Effects silver on the top. That's going to want to come out majority right off the bat. So I don't want to just pour that all out in one spot. Now we're gonna hop over with another one. I'm gonna start from here and try to keep that angle. Okay, so now we're gonna spritz it with isopropyl alcohol, small to medium drops. All right, now I'm gonna mist denatured alcohol, give that isopropyl about 5-10 minutes to evaporate, and then we'll mist it with denatured alcohol. If you have to hit it twice, you can just, again, let it evaporate for a little bit before you do that second spray. Okay, so last thing we got to do to get these edges coated is pull this tape, okay? So what we're really looking for is when we fold this back, we want it to just be barely moving down the edge. Now keep in mind, if you're in a cold environment, this resin is just going to be really thick because it's cold. It's going to seem like it's set up. It's cold in this warehouse. We waited about 2 hours. But if you're doing it inside temp, 70 degrees, you'll be able to pull this down. You know, the resin's not going to thicken up from the cold temp. And typically, if you do it right when you're done coating, it's going to want to just flow down really fluid. You want to wait till it's slowly moving like it is right now. So these are gonna drip for another probably hour, hour and a half, slowly coating that face. Biggest thing is we don't wanna just walk away and assume the edges are gonna look good. If there's any imperfections, we can address those while it's still wet. Either like if you have a spot where it looks like there's a run or even like a crater, we can touch those up, right? We don't wanna just walk away and assume it's all gonna flow and look good. Last thing we wanna do once we're finished with the edges, scrape the bottom to minimize drip so we don't have to sand the drips the next day. I like to use a putty knife, something really thin and sharp. It almost cuts those drips off. If you use a paint stick, when the resin gets this thick, it wants to build up on that paint stick, and it basically applies it back to that edge, which creates more drip. So we'll mess around with these edges, make sure they all look good, scrape those drips, and then we'll show you what it looks like when it's all done.